From our last visit, we can confidently say that Argentina is a destination full of wonders. With a country of this size, there are many diverse regions to explore, from its European-like capital of Buenos Aires to its world-famous wine country of Mendoza. If you haven't seen it already, we recently captured our 7-day journey across Argentina in our previous video. From our time there, we learned some valuable lessons that we thought would be very beneficial to share with our viewers, some of which can help you best prepare and possibly save hundreds of dollars. With that said, this is Backpack Gringo, covering 9 travel tips for your next visit to Argentina. The first piece of advice I would like to cover, and possibly the most important on this list, is surrounding the exchange rates in Argentina. While most countries have one standard exchange rate, Argentina actually has 2, and if you didn't know that prior to visiting, then you may lose out on a lot of potential money. As of today, Argentina has an official exchange rate and an unofficial exchange rate, also referred to as the blue or black market rate. For some background, Argentina has had a huge problem with inflation. As of May 2023, Argentina has reached an annual inflation rate of over 114%. That's the second worst in Latin America next to Venezuela. Due to the historical inflation and limited access to foreign currencies, informal trading / the parallel blue rate was created, which allowed people to acquire foreign currencies at a different rate than the official one and at different volumes than the previous government restrictions allowed. So when traveling to Argentina, it's imperative that you cross-reference the current day's exchange rates before exchanging money to ensure that you're getting the unofficial rate. To give an example of the differences between the two, as of today, if I were to exchange 100 USD using the official rate, I would receive over 25,000 Argentinian pesos. On the contrary, if I were to receive the unofficial rate, I would be receiving over 49,000. That's a lot of extra money in your pocket that could go towards travel expenses. Now this ties into our next piece of advice, where to exchange currency. Now, in order to avoid getting the official rate, I would suggest avoiding both ATMs and banks. Instead, try to locate currency exchange booths found all around the city. Also, you may even stumble across a guy on the street yelling the word exchange or cambio. Now, while kind of sketchy in concept, we found these private currency exchange people to work as well, and you can even sometimes negotiate their initial rate. Another important thing to note when exchanging money in Argentina is that they usually only accept crisp and clean bills. If they are old, torn, or have fading due to creases, they often won't accept the bills or will flat out offer you a much lower rate. The next piece of advice I would like to cover is surrounding the problem with the bills in Argentina. The largest note they have is 1,000, which equates to little less than $4 at the time of this video. The second largest is 500, or about $2. Now, this becomes an issue because, for example, if you withdraw, say, 250 USD worth of ARS, you'll end up with a huge wad of cash that gets bigger when you break each bill. So, if you're planning to visit Argentina, make sure you have a wallet, purse, fanny pack, or whatever that is adequate enough to carry all the bills. While inconvenient, having cash in Argentina is a must, and oftentimes small markets will only take cash and not the usual credit card. This brings us to the next tip on credit card usage. This was predominantly the main method we used to pay for just about everything. If you have a foreign credit card, then you're in luck, because as of semi-recently, payments made on foreign credit cards like MasterCard and Visas now receive a better exchange rate, also known as the MEP dollar rate. In other words, if you're paying by card, your money will go much further than the previous official rate offered. One thing to note is that some banks/cards will charge you the MEP rate right away, while other banks will give you the unofficial rate, but will reimburse you automatically later on. The next topic I'd like to cover is surrounding tipping. In Argentina, the typical tip amount is 10%. When out at restaurants and so forth, 10% seem to be very standard, but one thing to note is that a lot of times we weren't allowed to tip on our card. Tips will unfortunately have to be paid separately with cash, which is why we previously stressed the importance of having cash on hand. Another important thing to note when traveling to Argentina is that the wall outlets are different than most other countries in Latin America. In Argentina, they predominantly use Type I outlets and sometimes a hybrid of Type I and the typical European Type C outlet. That's why it's important to bring a universal adapter to be safe. You can simply pick one up online or at any of the mini electronic stores you'll find scattered throughout the city. One interesting thing about Argentina is that it's a cultural norm for everything to open and close late. In Argentina, it's pretty common for most businesses and banks to open around 10 a.m. Also, when looking for dinner, we found many restaurants didn't open up until 8 p.m. It's something that I'm definitely not used to, but within the Argentinian culture, people enjoy eating very late. A few locals had even mentioned that it's rather common for them to eat dinner around 10 p.m. every day. The second to last subject I would like to touch on is the weather. While you may think that since Argentina is in South America that it's always hot, that's not always the case. While it does get very hot in the summer, due to the distance away from the equator and other factors, they do experience a variety of seasons. These seasons are often opposite to the current seasons in the United States, and in the colder months it gets very cold, especially in Mendoza. Since there's a lot of variance, it's important to check the weather for the months that you're going and to pack accordingly. For your reference, here's the average monthly temperatures in Buenos Aires in both Celsius and Fahrenheit. That leaves us with our last and final subject in this video, and that's around transportation. In Argentina, if you're not renting a car, you can utilize rideshare apps, the metro, or the bus, all of which are quite reasonably priced and help you get around to explore efficiently. Also, before you visit, make sure you have either Uber, Cabify, or InDriver downloaded on your phone. Alongside the metro and the bus, we mostly use Uber the entire time and never struggled with getting a quick ride around town. So if you're like us and like to avoid the costs and hassles of renting a car, note that all of these options are completely viable. If you've made it this far in the video, thanks for hanging in there. I tried to compile as much information as I could, all while avoiding unnecessary fluff that I often come across while searching for this information myself. I hope this information is helpful and can hopefully ease any uncertainties you had about traveling to Argentina. If you have any further questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section below, and as always, we would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Doing so really helps out our new channel and allows for these types of videos to be shared with fellow travelers. So thanks again for tuning into another video brought to you by yours truly, Backpack Gringo.